Go ahead. Hey, Tyler, are you ready to tell us about some of these crayfish? Yep. Great. So, did the crayfish have eyes? We all thought they did because he certainly seemed to react to us. How many eyes do you see on your crayfish?
Like there's one right there. Oh, he just tucked it in.
Mm-hmm.
And one right there.
Oh,
but it seems like they can tuck it in.
Yeah, they're on stalks, and those are special eyes. Instead of being a single eyeball like humans have, they actually have many facets or many parts to their eyes. So lots and lots, almost like a little gem. They're going to have 100 of these tiny little eyes all on that one big eyeball. And having it out on stalks means that they can move it around a lot better and see a much wider view, bigger angle than we as humans can see. Great. So 2 eyeballs we've got. Excellent. And oftentimes things are all going to be in even numbers, not 1 eye, but 2 eyes, and one on either side. And that's because crayfish are bilaterally symmetrical, just like humans are. They are going to be basically a mirror image on either side. Okay, let's hold that animal steady and let's see if the crayfish have walking legs, and how many pairs of walking legs.
It looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs, because there are 4 on each side.
4 pairs of walking legs, except crayfish are decapods, and deca means 10. It means that and pod means foot. They are the 10-footed ones. So actually, scientists think that crayfish have 10 walking legs. 5 pairs.
Then would the claws be considered a pair?
The claws are actually, yes. So they really don't walk using that first pair, but we would call that the first pair of walking legs, or the claws, or scientists would call those chelipeds. So there you go, you've got those chelipeds.
The scientific term basically for the first pair of walking legs or pinchers is cheliped?
Yes, it is. So does it have any other pinchers? Like how many pinchers does it have?
Actually, it looks like on its legs, there's some things, because those actually, when I put my forceps right there, they pinch onto it.
Oh, they definitely did. So that first pair of walking legs has the huge chelipeds, huge claws on it. But the second pair of walking legs that they actually walk with have little pinchers, and so does the third pair.
And it looks like these other ones, like the pinchers have been like cut off or something. They must have like fallen off maybe in like a fight or something.
Oh.
Though I think like would they ever like grow them back?
You know what? They can.
Wow.
Wow. If I lose my arm, I might be able to heal up.
It would never grow back.
That's right. It would never grow back.
But is it true that when crayfish molt, basically it starts growing back?
That's exactly right.
So even if they lose one of these big pinchers, the next time that they molt, it'll start growing back immediately?
Well, yes. When it molts, they'll get a little bit of it back. And to molt means to shed their skin.
Each time it molts,
they're going to completely crack out of their skin.
And become all like soft.
And become soft until their next shell hardens up. And that allows them to grow larger. But also, as they're growing larger, if they've lost some body parts between the molts, they can start to actually regrow.
Each molt lets it grow, makes the claw grow bigger and bigger?
Correct. And if they've lost one, they could actually start to grow it back. But usually it's something, especially as big as a claw, it's going to take them 3 or 4 or 5 molting cycles before they can get it back completely again. Yeah. So it might be a good year or so before they get it back.
No, still, if you get your arm chopped off...
Yeah, we would never get it back.
Never go back.
Fantastic. Do you see any ears on your crayfish there, Tyler?
Not really.
No.
I noticed actually some hairs on the leg.
Oh, yes, and that's brilliant because they are very hairy organisms, or actually they're not really hairs. They're called bristles or setae, and those bristles are attached, are basically connected to nerves so that when there's pressure waves, either from a fish swimming by or from a person talking around them,
It can actually hear us.
yes, well, they pick up the vibration, so it won't know what you're saying, but it knows that you are there.
And talking.
Tell you what, right where you're holding the crayfish, that's actually called the carapace on the back. If you look, it's the cephalothorax.
Yeah, 'cause it looks like it's a very hard shell here, much harder than down
Then underneath there, yeah, so they have that hard, it's called an exoskeleton, because exo means outside. Cephalo means head, thorax means middle part, that hard cephalothorax, but right underneath.
So that's what they mold?
They'll melt out of all of that. Right underneath there, right where your fingers are holding it, underneath, so we can't see it, that's where its gills are. So crayfish need water going over their gills to breathe. If you put that crayfish back in the water, because he's been up in the air for a bit, let's see, that's why we were getting those air bubbles. See the air bubbles? It's using its mouth parts, and you can see some of the mouth parts moving underneath its head there. It's using its mouth parts to create a water current to get the water to go underneath the gills again.
So that's why there is those big, is that why there are these big parts of the mouth part?
Yeah, so those are the mouth parts again. So the white
So those
parts,
basically push water over the
they're going to
gills?
push water over the gills. They're going to move food that those claws have managed to rip and shred apart. They're going to manipulate the food, kind of like your lips do, to get it into your mouth.
More than those, because I've kind of seen crayfish before eating, and it looks like they don't even need to hold on to it with their claws, because their mouth can just grab it.
Yes.
And hold on to it with those two.
Tell you what, we have a piece of food. Why don't you put down that crayfish? Go over, can you get that piece of food that's over there?
Okay.
And how about we...
A couple pieces and see if
All right, why don't we give it to each one of the crayfish? Let's give it a piece of food, each one, and we'll see who starts to eat their food fastest. I think they're a little more worried about you at this moment. Oh, wait, don't move, because so predators are way more scary than being hungry, right? If you don't pay attention to a predator, you're gonna die, but if you don't eat, you'll just be hungry. But if you see, you put in the food, let's see if they can smell. This one actually touched it with their antennae. Go ahead and drop a few more pieces in, and let's see if our crayfish start to feed for us. I think they're a little too freaked out. Maybe we'll have to wait on that a little bit. But I'm gonna try to get on. I can see this one's mouth parts moving really, really rapidly underneath its head, underneath its face there. So crayfish will actually have a whole bunch.
You can also see the mouth parts a lot when they lift up towards you.
Here, do you want to go and
get it.
see if you can get it in there? It's still taping.
You can get a good view of its mouth parts.
Can you get in their mouth parts? So they're going to have
I can't really see.
3 maxillipeds, 3 pairs of maxillipeds, 2 pairs of maxillae, and then a pair of mandibles.
See, look at all that. Look at that mouth.
For 6 pairs of mouthpieces, or 12 mouth parts total on each crayfish.
Wow, that's a lot of mouth.
That is a lot of mouth parts.